Hello, everyone. Welcome to our wonderful live stream. We've got the band back together today.
Bunch of nerds. Oh, that's
Oh.
very loud.
Oh,
Bunch of nerds.
Sorry.
Jen's trying to kill us.
Hello, chat.
Hello,
Hello, Blood Walmers.
Hello.
Who
Hello.
we got here? We got
Sounds loud.
Rattle Can.
Hello.
Okay, you're really
Or no.
loud.
Hello. Well, no, you have your headphones up too loud then, because if you look at the monitoring, when I talk, needs to be nearly peaking at red.
How do I change the volume on my headphones? I thought my headphones were connected to.
It is. It should be a little dial, like a dial knob that turns. That makes headphone volume. Phones. It might be called control room. Check, check, check.
Oh, here we go.
Check, check, check. Check. Turn me up.
Got
Turn
it.
me up.
Yep.
Jason,
Hello.
before you get
Hello,
swayed
peoples.
by what appears to be a mere chatter on stream,
Before I get what?
before you get swayed by the appellations of Mr. Cthulhu Stars over here,
What do you say?
saying it's time, when you painting knights on channel. You know who this is?
Kniggets?
Yeah, the Nuggets. You know who this is?
Cthulhu
This
Stars?
is Grant. Trying to get us to paint knights on the channel.
Our Grant?
Our Grant.
Like Grant that works here?
Yes.
Correct.
Wants us to pay knights.
He wants us to paint knights on stream.
Kniggets.
I think specifically he wants me to paint the knights that he wants to paint so that he can get an idea of how to paint his knights on stream.
We can be bribed.
Yeah. What you got to offer there?
He can
Mr.
actually bribe us with things like cheesesteaks because he works here.
I'll paint a knight on stream if you buy cheesecake for the team. For the team, not just me.
Did Jordan say cheesecake? Jason said cheese steak.
I'm happy with either
He
answer.
always says cheesecake.
Yeah.
I always say cheesesteak, and he thinks I say cheesecake, and he goes, "There's never a bad time for cheesecake." And I said, "Well, generally in the morning is not a good time because I'm still thinking cheesesteak, and he's thinking cheesecake. For cheesecake, there's never a bad time for cheesecake. There's always a well, not always a bad time, but there are bad times for cheesesteak.
Are there though?
Yeah, I'm not really a cheesesteak and the breakfast guy. Breakfast foods. We're not even going to go down this because this
Yeah.
could derail the entire stream
Yeah.
if we start talking about what's a pizza.
People are here for the paint.
Hello.
We've had the
What, you guys
pizza
like
conversation
painting?
enough times.
Law Dog says the dulcet tones of my 3Js. What else is so relaxing? So you know what I have to say, and there is nothing more relaxing, Law Dog, and I'm glad you noticed that. You know what? How many people have posted today about their, because it's the end of the year when all of these subscription services and channels
Oh yeah, it's
tell you where you
basically like
spend all
their
your
Spotify
time.
Wrapped.
So I got my Audible report. I didn't get a Spotify report because it's in Jen's name, so it doesn't know I exist, I don't think.
No, it does.
Oh, it
I'll
does?
show you where to find it. You just have to look.
Oh.
But I'll show you where to
I'll
find
go.
it.
I need to go look at mine. But like Twitch is sending out the Twitch year-end kind of stuff now. We're seeing all sorts of people that are like, your most watched stream is, drum roll please,
Well, then we should probably be getting stats for our
Monument Hobbies.
for the stream from our end.
Yeah, it's on point.
Yeah.
It generally comes in late December.
Mine, yeah, I got an email from Twitch today. I didn't even bother opening it because I only watch our streams. So.
Four Pig Bacon just finished the super secret weekend stream, and now y'all are live. Man, somebody knows how to
What
play.
timing?
That
and
was
what
a
full
fun
day.
stream, Four Pig.
Full day of Monument Hobbies streams.
Four
for
Pig, was it
you.
as fun for you after the fact as it was during the thing? Because I had a blast. That was a fun stream. It's a good one. I think that's one of our best for replay value, just because we did such a crap job of talking to chat that it seems like it was built for TV. I was horrible. I could not.
Awesome.
It was when we had the and I don't mean that like I was horrible because I wanted to be horrible. I was horrible dealing with chat because chat would not scroll.
Oh,
The entire
what?
day, chat would not scroll because we had the extreme lag from having the Google call going on the computer.
Oh,
The
'cause
Google
that
call was
computer?
the
Yeah.
Google call was being duplicated, so I could show video in two panels from the same Google call, and then all the video we produce here.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a problem. Every time I tried to scroll, I would scroll and then I'd sit there and count to 20, 30, and it wouldn't scroll. What do you need?
We're out of paper towels.
Well, there you go.
Not anymore.
There's rolls of paper towels
Yeah,
in the building.
I don't want to go.
Mechanized Imposter has rewatched it twice.
Oh, dang.
What's
That's
that?
awesome.
Mechanized Imposter went and watched it twice.
Watched it
Fantastic.
twice.
Fantastic. Cheesesteak or cheesecake? One and then the other. Yes, they do go well together. How much time is the right amount of time to leave between dinner and dessert?
There is no
Thank you, Jen.
time limit.
There's not a proper time.
Whenever
I was going to say exactly
you're
what
ready
she was.
for it.
Okay, so I agree with the whenever you're ready part, but let's say you had to pick a time. Is it? I don't know very many times where I'm ready for dessert immediately. Because the flavor of dinner, it ruins the first couple of bites of dessert if you're not careful. Right?
So I think there are times though
You need a palate cleanser.
where as soon
Ice
as I'm
cream's a
done,
palate cleanser.
I need one little something sweet, like a little piece of candy or
Yeah,
like a little mint or something.
like right after.
Yeah, like right away.
Some lemon sorbet. Oh, man, that actually sounds really good.
I mean, I prefer like a baked treat or chocolate.
I say lemon sorbet because it's usually like a good palate cleanser
Whatever,
type.
I'm not trying to clean my
type deal.
palate. I'm trying.
Fair.
Cake steak is the correct answer to any question. We just want
Cake
cake steak.
Or steak cake.
Steak cake. Ugh.
The
This
cake
doesn't
that looks
sound
like-
good. This
well,
is
it's
this like
is it
meat
one of those-
pie?
No, it's one of those. Is it cakes? Is it cake or is it a shoe?
It's definitely a shoe.
They have an AI
Oh, I know what
program
you-
that does that now for any photo you put into it.
They have a TV show of it where people will bite into it.
Oh,
Oh,
gross.
gosh. I don't want to eat a
Gross.
shoe.
A nice drink is a solid palate cleanser for you, like a stiff drink, like a whiskey. Or Pride is laughing because he just picked up a cheesesteak. Nice. Not jealous at all. I had a PB&J that people laughed at me for.
Excuse me.
Oh,
I
except for Jordan.
Backed you 100%.
Jordan backed me 100%. Did you go
What?
talk to her?
I did.
And what did she say?
She said that I was wrong.
Oh,
What-
well, there you go.
what
That
happened?
sounds like Brenna.
What'd she say?
I told Jordan because Jordan came over and goes, "Why are they giving you a hard time about your peanut butter and jelly?" And I said exactly. And so I said, "You need to go tell that Brenna." That's how I refer to Brenna.
Yeah.
Is that Brenna?
That Brenna.
You go tell that Brenna that it doesn't matter how the peanut butter and jelly gets on the sandwich. Just the fact that it's on the sandwich makes it all right.
I think I've determined Brenna's role here. I think that
Traffic cop.
No, I think it's official hard time giver.
She is the official
I
hard
think
time
that She
giver.
is the official hard time giver.
She gives us all a run for our money.
Yes.
She is not afraid either.
She's the
No.
youngest
She's a little
one.
spitfire,
Yeah.
and she is not afraid. She's like Schlebby. That's why they
Yeah.
get along so well.
She's
Yeah, that's true.
She is Schlebby Jr. for sure.
Yeah.
They're
Schlebby, Brenna, and Shannon are
Shannon.
birds of a feather. The dangerous birds of a feather.
She was very.
It's a beefcake. I'm a beefcake.
She was very animated when I went
Wasn't
in
that
and talked to her about
established
it.
when she got hired? I mean, technically, it was probably established when she was born.
Yeah. Brenna's great though. She's
She,
super funny.
yeah, she's got good parents
Captain Awesomeball says, "Oi, mate,
who've taught her how to.
nothing." I'm gonna say nothing
beautiful
with
art
F's.
Of giving people a hard time.
Nothing wrong with a meat pie cobbler, meat pie cobbler.
I have a problem with things being called meat pies, but that's only because I am from America. I am an American, and thus we don't have meat pies.
We only have freedom pie.
We have. You mean freedom gnomes?
Freedom. What is it?
Freedom gnomes.
Freedom gnomes. We have freedom gnomes.
That was so good.
Jen bought this amazing Christmas gnome, but now because
my
Kyle
favorite. I love
Kyle
it
and his
so much.
Swedish heritage are trying to teach us that it's actually not a Christmas gnome, it's called something else. And so I said, "No, that sir is a freedom gnome. That is a Christmas freedom gnome."
Yeah, he's like, we're in America.
We're
Thank
in
you very
America,
much.
and
And I'm
that is
like, that's a
Christmas
freedom gnome. Let's go.
It's sitting right outside his office. Every time I walk by, I go, "Gnome," and I send him like Google searches that I do for Christmas gnome that are exactly that doll, and I screenshot them and I send them to him. See, even Google knows. And he sends me back these articles about Swedish history and
Oh,
crazy
gosh.
made up words.
You can
Ugh.
have dinner and dessert at the same time when you realize lasagna is just spaghetti flavored cake. No, it's not.
So hold on. How often are we cool with having dessert before dinner?
I would do it every day.
All right.
don't have any
I mean,
problems with
technically,
this.
Jen and I have been opting for cereal for dinner a lot, and that feels kind of like dessert for dinner.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not talking about dessert for dinner. I'm talking about
Vector,
dessert
I'm not going to
before.
recognize that you also know the same fake word that Kyle does. Red Spartan says all words are made up, though. Also true,
Yeah.
but some are more made up than others.
Yeah, that is true.
Some are more made up than others. And anything that comes out of Kyle's mouth is more made up than it should be. Especially when he starts quoting Swedish phrases. Donuts are both appetizers and dessert, and in case of breakfast, main course as well. So I saw the funniest video yesterday. It was an anniversary video that some couple that's on Instagram or TikToks or whatever it is that crazy kids do these days. And it said, this one is anniversary homage to my crazy wife. And it showed all these funny things that this guy's wife does in their TikTok videos. And one of them was where there was a dozen donuts sitting on the kitchen counter, and she walks in and pushes him away because he was about to grab a donut. And she takes all 12 donuts, stacks them up high, and then squishes them down with all of her weight, and then eats a dozen donuts as a donut sandwich. It was literally a dozen glazed donuts that she squished into being about as big as like a really hefty triple patty, burger or something. And she walks off with these donuts in her hand, just taking big chunks out of this big hefty triple sized burger donut. It was literally a dozen donuts smashed into a sandwich.
I feel like I would do that.
She ate a dozen donuts all at once.
I don't see any problem with that.
Jen, I would do this.
Grizz, that is the werewolf from the Heretic Legions for Trench Crusade. We're getting down and dirty with the Crusade. It's all we live for right now.
Yeah.
There are no other bright shinies. People have tried to send us bright shinies. We got a bright shiny in the mail the other day, and it cannot dissuade us.
Nope.
We are painting Trench Crusade.
Trench Crusade for life. Well, not for life, but definitely for lots of fun.
Flapjack Nickelsack, best, most fun name to say in the world. Anybody excited for War of the Rohirrim this weekend? Is it this weekend?
It is this weekend.
I know Friday. Christopher is excited for it.
I definitely want to see it.
It's only at the theaters to start, right?
Yeah.
That might be a good reason to go to a movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at that. We should do our movie night with the crew again.
We should. That'd be a blast.
We did that before. That was a lot of fun.
That would be a blast.
We should see.
And it's on a payday. It's perfect.
Wait,
perfect.
You guys get paid?
No,
we
Jason.
Pay these people?
No, but you don't. Actually, I'm sorry. Hold on. Yes, guys, we get paid. Yep.
Jennifer?
I don't know who that is. That guy on stream? Don't know who he is.
There's no Jennifer here.
Every time I say Jennifer, she's like, I don't know who that is.
I don't answer to that name.
I don't answer to that name.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my goodness.
It's like when my mom called me Douglas when I was growing up. I knew I was in trouble. That's how Jen knows that that's my middle name.
Oh, okay.
That's how Jen knows she's in trouble when I go, Jennifer.
Jen's like, I'm not
Jennifer,
here.
I thought we determined we weren't paying these people. I should be careful with that now in the days where we have like Vallejo on strike.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You get paid and not even in paint. Yeah, it's the new animated movie. And the animation looks pretty good from the few shots that I saw. Looks like they spent some really good time on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. Obviously, I mean, I think Two Towers of those movies is probably one of my favorite. I don't know. It's weird. I love all those movies pretty equally, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't mind any of them. They're all great.
Yeah. There's just different things that I like about each one. But I do think Helm's Deep is, like, pretty freaking iconic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When I was growing up, it's insert middle name. Well, time to dig my grave. Exactly. If you were called by your middle name.
Yeah, if it was your first and middle, then you were in trouble, for sure.
Oh, yeah, first and middle.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't really work well for that. Like, my middle name is Dane, for the record.
Dane?
I don't think it matters. It's when the first and the middle are put together with emphasis.
Jordan Dane.
You were in trouble. Yes.
You know you're in trouble.
Did you never got that?
No.
Like where your mother would be like, Jordan Dane, you get down here right now.
But to be honest, my mom had other ways to frustrate and irritate me. She knows well.
I love how it went from you're in trouble to somehow your parents are frustrating you. It was really frustrating when my mother got mad at me.
Yes.
Parents are always figuring out ways to frustrate you. Colonel, what's going on? We are doing great. Looking forward to that movie for the Reese of the Minis. Yeah. I don't care as much about GW games anymore, so I don't really care about the Lord of the Rings minis. We have a lot here. They nerfed a lot of the ones that I have that I really like. So, I've been hearing mixed reviews on how people think the rule set is.
Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't looked more into it. I know very little about the changes, even though the books are basically out.
Or no, you lurk. We will continue to provide you with the humor.
Don't worry. Jordan was more sheltered, it seems.
Ishmael says, have we talked about Secret Level in that amazing Warhammer episode? I did not watch it.
Is that all out yet?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, I have not watched it. Ghost Hunter. I need Jen to read that out loud.
No, it's what they're saying to me.
Yeah, but you got to read it.
I always say thank you.
Yeah, but you got to read it.
Only 8 episodes. That's a lot, though. Are they all short? Like 20 minutes, 12 minutes, stuff like that? The minis are pretty cool. I don't have any opinion about the tabletop war game since I've never played one, but I do want to paint some of those new models. Oh, yeah, Flapjack. Believe it or not, Middle-earth strategy battle game is one of Games Workshop's greatest efforts in the world of tabletop war games. It just has a really unique combat system. Really great game, put together well. You could tell it was designed by people who knew wargaming to appeal to people who didn't have to know wargaming.
Mm-hmm.
And it was built to be its own system. It plays really well. They've now made a new edition of it that I'm not sure what they're doing with it, but you know, I don't feel like I want to buy new books for it, so I don't care.
Yeah,
I have a bunch of the miniatures for it,
and that's the frustrating part, right? Because you have to buy all the new books.
Yeah.
Like I have to buy 2 separate books. Well, I guess no, I do have to buy 2 separate books because I have a Hobbit army and a.
Yeah, you got to buy the armies of the Lord of the Rings, armies of the Hobbit, armies of something else.
Yeah, I'm definitely less excited about all that.
Colonel, yeah. I'm less of a gamer. I just have to kind of admit it. You know, there's only a few games that really appeal to me these days, and even then, I don't find myself making time for gaming as much. For me, it's smoking fools in video games, and the occasional card game. I have this love-hate relationship with Magic the Gathering. It is my favorite game of all time, bar none, but it is something that I can't really continue with as much as I would like to because it takes too much of your brain power to stay current with it. Like any of the collectible card games, you just have to expend too much of your brain power to keep up with it because there's a new set too often and learning the meta and changing the meta. And I'm really tired of all the games that force you to do seasonal gameplay. I think it's like the worst thing ever. It's like, oh, I get to play the game again. You know, I get to do all this again.
They were Wad Tomato's #1 stream on his Twitch recap.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you, Wad.
Awesome. We've had a lot of that. That's awesome.
I assume that's only because we stream more often than Zambies.
T. Schmidt, I think it's the reverse. I think that in order to continue to sell as much plastic as they do, they have to continually make new books. You know? They got to make new books so that everybody can buy new plastic. If you can believe it, I stumbled on some Middle-earth strategy battle game conversion guides way back when that game was coming out. And you were a young lad of like 10 or something and wanted to paint the minis all the way back then. Oh, yeah. Early 2000s.
Yep.
The Middle-earth strategy battle game is what saved Games Workshop.
Yeah,
Turned them into the company they are today. 100% was not 40K or Warhammer Fantasy Battle. It was the Tolkien license. And to hear the stories from inside, when I worked at GW, I got to hear firsthand by the people that did this, how they went and talked to the movie studio and pitched their idea and, you know, got to the point where it was actually a pretty big turning point in licensing for games because GW convinced somebody else already had the board game license for Lord of the Rings when GW was talking to the studio. And they pitched on how different tabletop wargaming was. That's why it has to be called the Middle-earth strategy battle game, because it is a new type of license that they basically invented out of thin air so that they could include Games Workshop in on the property.
And that's just what people do nowadays.
Yeah.
They come up with weird and obscure ways to circumvent their own rules to allow people to have multiple of the same license.
Nice. You fall in love with Necromunda minis. Some of them are really good.
They've been killing it on...
I would buy the Ash Wastes minis for Necromunda just to paint them. I don't give a damn about that game, but those minis are cool. The dudes it's like Dune on bugs.
Yeah.
It's like
I know what you're talking about. They're
Fremen on
freaking cool.
bugs.
Yeah,
those are cool. I was trying to convince myself about a year and a half or maybe 2 years, whenever they came out originally. I was trying to convince myself on like what would be a good excuse to own those. I didn't buy them, but I'm getting better about that in my older years. I stare at stuff and then I close the window and tell myself if in a week or so I'm still wanting them, I'll go back and buy it. Put it in my cart and then not. What are you doing over there? You're sort of the same way, but you do have a gaming group that still likes to play 40K, moving them to Age of Sigmar more. And you con all them to join me in the Trench Crusade. Nice! That's the way to do it.
You get them, you got them.
Found a crazy deal on Amazon. Wasn't a scam.
Alrighty.
Yeah, the Ash Waste box is sitting right over there. Yeah, there's some neat stuff. The Bug Rider guys, and then there's but the problem with it is that there's a really cool model that's like Forge World only.
Yes, that is true.
For the Ash Waste, there's a couple of them that are Forge World only, and I think that's stupid.
It is dumb.
We are so far beyond the time for Games Workshop to not make all the models available easily.
We have a request for Baby J to explain what method of painting he is doing.
You're most welcome to the answer to that question, which I will tell you right now. So what I am doing is I'm basically doing what we did on... Oh, Jason's got it over there. Do you mind if I grab your guy to show him?
What's that?
The troll?
Oh, sure.
Where is he?
I mean, you steal stuff from my side all the time anyway.
I did ask this time.
Source, we will get to your question next. Jordan gets an answer to that one.
So, because this model is quite a bit larger than some of the other things that we're doing, it has a lot of metal on it, my plan is to make it look like a DEC guy. So the process for doing this is you start by painting all of the metal in a really dark brown color. So in this case, I use dark flesh. And then you start building it up with brighter oranges and ochre colors to build up that rust texture. And you do that with a stippling technique. It's what you were seeing me do with the kind of tapping the edge of the brush onto the model to create kind of a mottled texture. And then on top of that, you just dry brush dark silver and then silver. It is as simple as that. And it looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's a great look.
So I thought it would look really, really nice with the wolf. I know it's a little different than the style that I've been doing on some of the other ones, but I think it will pair together nicely once it's all on the table. So that's the plan with this. This is also super fast, by the way. You can do this whole model in like very little amount of time.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Source has a question. What makes you decide to do weathering first and dry brush metallic on top versus weathering with Noosh afterward? Can you explain what makes you choose one over the other?
So I touched on this just a second ago, but I can explain it a little bit more in depth. So on something like this versus something like this, there's less surface area that can be as easily dry brushed on here. Basically, the best parts to dry brush are the shoulders, right? But it's hard to get a dry brush into where these kind of thigh plates are, and this is a lot of smooth surfaces here. This has a lot more shape that lends itself really nicely to a dry brush, like the edges of these plates and things like that. And there's like little raised detail punched into the plates you can see. The dry brush is going to pick all of that up a lot easier than the wash will lay into the recesses. So I decided to do that technique on this one instead of doing it on this one. Whereas the wash will work better with Noosh on something like this, because I can punch it into all the little recess details and then wipe it away.
I'm concerned about the guy on the right.
He's scary.
bite something? That blood all over his face? Ate that guy? Is that what we're going with?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no head.
Okay, so you bit the head off and
Yeah.
okay.
There's a whole lot of yeah. It's a gnarly world, Trench Crusade. It's not a place I'd like to spend my vacation time.
A little bit of gore never hurt anybody.
Gameplay said,
Well, maybe that
cave
one guy.
troll look like he's busting a move on the dance floor.
That was not a cave troll, sir. Well, actually,
But actually,
that was not a cave troll.
But I'm not sure that Juggernaut has dated his bloodlust.
Sated, I think, was the word they were going for.
I like dated though. Dated works for me.
But his lip just won't stop bleeding.
You probably hurt the guy the gore came from. Well, you know, yeah.
Finally, a game for the death metal fans amongst us.
True. You can see I'm also kind of putting a little bit heavier colors around the rivets because I want that color to get around the entirety of the rivet.
Or no, you'd be surprised. Like you say that when I say it took like 15, 20 minutes to do the armor on that troll, it is legit about the time it takes. Look at what Baby J's doing. It requires absolutely no specificity other than to make sure that your stippling allows each of those colors to still exist, right? You don't want to cover up too much of one layer with the next, and you just want to make it look like this mottled patchwork of rusty color. And then when you dry brush the metal, the randomness of which of those colors shows through is what really gives you the feel of, that realistic worn surface.
Well, and the key about it with it as well is you want to go really, really light with the dry brush, and that will help really create that soft transition that lets that kind of transparency of the dry brush layer show all of these colors from underneath. And it looks really, really, really nice when it's all said and done.
Autocorrect is the worst. I swear I type sated. I do that all the time. It changes my words, and I'm like, that's not what I meant, phone. Game Dilly says, cave troll or not, is he dancing? Yeah, he's kind of like hard dance, like floor punch. Back to the like black metal band stuff that people are talking about. He's out there on the dance floor, dancing quotes. He's floor punching. He's hard dancing.
Punching.
He's in the pit.
He's in the pit. He's with Tim.
Well, excuse you, Mr. Mitsuchi. Leaving the door closed.
Source, yeah, it's one of the best ways to get a dirty metallic if you're moving fast in an army, especially. You can imagine doing if you were doing like Slaves to Darkness or some sort of Chaos Army in fantasy, this would be perfect.
Totally.
I mean, your Trench Crusade models, it's perfect.
Yep.
If you're looking for that rusty feel.
Yeah, like if
the
I
only reason I didn't do this on the Pilgrims is because my models are too small.
Yep.
And the one thing that it still looks okay at scale, but it needs to be on something more like a Space Marine, something that has a lot of armor, like Knights or something. Because my Trench Pilgrims only had armor on the head and basically the shoulders, it would not have been a good method for that. So, to the question of when do you decide to use one versus the other, a lot of that has to do with the model like Jordan was talking about. Does the model sculpt lend itself to take the dry brush nicely? Things of that nature. That metal is what happens when you take away an animal's ability to groom itself.
Yeah, it doesn't have a head, really.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on under that helmet.
Nothing good.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
Anger. A lot of anger.
Yeah. It doesn't even chomp. It just pushes its face into things and
Oh yeah, the teeth just grind you to
grinds. Yeah.
Punisher said, despite constantly getting words wrong on the phone, for some reason, I just will not proofread until after I've already sent the message.
Oh yeah, that's exactly when you realize all your spelling mistakes is right as your musculature has committed to pressing the button to the point of no return, right? You haven't actually hit return yet, right? Or send, but you've committed to the point where you can't take it back. right? Your brain has said, press the button, and your muscles are starting to go, yes, of course we'll press the button. And then right at that period of time, right before you press the button, is when your brain goes, oh, but wait. And your muscles go, too late.
My frustration is when, because I'm a pretty careful proof when I send text messages, unless I'm typing like 1 or 2 words and trying to be quick.
Yep.
And then no matter what, it will change it like right as it just changes it for me right as I push.
Autocorrect is the great equalizer.
Worse.
So many times have I had autocorrect
It
just
doesn't happen to me often, but I've had it a
default
couple
me to
times.
something just not at all
And
what I'm trying to type.
Always like devastated.
Source says I headbutt my best friend through life on the dance floor, hard dancing to Rage Against the Machine. You're like headbanging, you just headbutt your friend.
Lifetime
Put 'em
bond
in a-
right there.
Concussion. Use this method on your Cruel Boy. Cruel Boys would be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that
Yep,
would be
yep.
so good. I didn't realize
The
this
point
guy
of no
had so
return is
many.
when you notice something wrong.
I didn't realize this guy had so many little like tubes. I missed a couple on his body. There's one that goes up here. There's some that come out of him here.
I love the fact that, like, because I handle the bulk of our Facebook interactions,
Uh huh.
and Facebook doesn't have the ability to retract your messages.
Or to like edit them.
Yeah.
Messages, but
can't-
not comments. You can edit your comments.
Edit comments. You
but
can't
not
edit messages.
Gotcha. Okay.
So every now and then that'll happen to me in the Messenger part of the app. And I'll type something and I'll hit return and it'll post it and I can't edit it. And it drives me bananas to the point where I will apologize. I'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for that misspelling.
Yeah.
You know, I'm typing way too fast. Please excuse the poor grammar.
Yeah.
Ghost Hunter says Monument Hobbies was my number one watch stream as well.
Nice.
You guys are awesome. Ghost Hunter, didn't you post yours in the Discord? That might have been the one that I saw that alerted me that this was happening. Or in a response to one of our posts on Facebook or something.
What do you post?
Yeah, I think you're the one that set it off. I was like, oh, is that happening? I didn't realize this guy had so many little tubes.
Yeah, I know. He's got all sorts of tubes.
What it
and
feels
stuff.
like to be the parent of an infant. What kind of infant do you have that has tubes all over the place?
Hopefully not one that legitimately has a problem. That requires tubes and problems.
Panic Bomb is like, I know Monument is my number one without looking.
Yeah.
You don't even have to get the email.
Same.
Yeah, it's funny because Jen used to have the most channel points of
Yeah.
anybody.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because
That's
I would
awesome.
be logged in as myself watching before we did the producer thing.
Oh,
So I would
got
always
it.
be watching as myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had like
You were just here every day
millions
for the
of
entire
channel
time.
points.
Yep.
And, yep, every day, entire.
Yep.
Could have used them on something.
They're not real.
Turns out.
I didn't
Yes,
have
so-
any interest in going through the effort to spend them to put sunglasses on all of our emotes or to highlight a bunch of messages.
Just
It's fine.
highlight
I
every
just
single
got 'em
message
in the
you send.
bank. Someday, if they're worth money, I'll be ready.
Wad says it'll be interesting. Said, I'll be interested to see this summer if GWA kills Warcry, B, take it in the new kill team direction, i.e. mess it up, or C, actually continue in a way that makes it still be their best game. Do you have you gotten any like info from them that makes you think one way or the other?
I haven't heard anything about
Have they
Warcry.
talked about switching it up? Because it's the only game that uses that system, so I don't know that they have a need to switch it up. I think they could continue to just come out with new warbands, right? It feels like a game that is good. They just come out with new stuff for it. It allows them to have neat models that are Age of Sigmar adjacent.
Bloodwallers, I got an email. Oh, you should probably get an email.
Yeah, I think Twitch sends it out.
I got it today. It sounds like everybody got it today, last night.
Ghost Hunter says Warcry is dead. Long live Spearhead. No, really?
Yeesh.
Warcry is a good game. It is.
Yeah, you really liked it when you played it with Amy.
It was. I could see a lot of really strong things about how it plays and what keeps it interesting. Because you could use the same two armies playing against each other, and after a game was over, it's pretty quick. And after a game was over, you could set up with another scenario with the same two war bands, and the game would play totally different because the objectives are not all just killy based or, sit on an objective and kill your opponent so they can't sit on the objective next to you. It has a lot more nuance than that. I think they've done a really good job with that game. I hope they don't go changing it too much. It's a funny one because we'll get into the conversation of when does a game outlive its usefulness? Is that a strictly commercial conversation, right? Is that a thing where it's time to write a new rule book for your game because revenue is down or revenue has plateaued? Or is it something where the rules have a baked in progression to them, because you look at something like video games, and a lot of time the expansions that come out are basically the recreation of it, and they extend the functionality of the base game, right? Very rarely do they rewrite the whole game. They just add new stuff, new content, new maps, new whatever. Now in tabletop wargaming, you can't just add new maps, right? Because none of them are really campaign based like that. You could imagine had Warhammer 40K decided to go a different direction, it could have been about a great crusade where they were going to different parts of the galaxy, and each edition of the game could have opened up new parts of the galaxy with new baddies and new scenario play and stuff like that. They've tried to do that in the narrative play scenario books that they've created, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But they do a really crappy job of it, So yeah, it's a good question to think about, what causes you to think that Warcry needs a new set of rules? Why does it need to change?
Panic Bomb, I think that question goes both ways. You have dealt with us for 510 hours this year.
Correct.
You just clipped 2 arms off a metal mini, took a knife, clippers, and a power tool. Ooh! Yeah. Yep. Because when you clip the metal, it makes that wedge shape. You can't cut it flat unless you use a saw. Jeweler saws are the best way to cut things off of metal miniatures because you get a nice clean cut. You don't lose or stretch the details because that white metal, that pop metal, will stretch and distort details if you just clip it with regular clippers most of the time. Warcry hasn't been mentioned in the last several big event updates, so people think it's dead. So either it's dead or they're keeping it close to the vest because it's going to be majorly changing. Have they not had anything new for a while? What was the last new thing that released for Warcry, models-wise? It wasn't the Gorger Maw Pack, was it? That I did. With the Hound dudes? The Hunters? If you tell me that was the last thing they released, I'm going to be surprised.
You guys can see I'm just really
Wad
lightly.
says it definitely needs new rules because it's been 3 years. I mean, geez, think of the shareholders.
Jeez.
Yeah, they didn't mention Underworlds for 7 months. Right? Chuck asked, "Who gave Jason the day to take a day, or the okay to take a day off?" What about this is taking a day off? I'm here. I'm here talking to you.
Jason, you're just not getting a whole lot of love today.
None.
This is truly
These people are not my friends.
disastrous.
Just had a wild idea. Could you noosh with metallic paint? Would anything about that not work? No, it'd work. It would be interesting, actually. to do it. You could do a metallic filter that way, and the thing you'd have to be leery of is the amount of the metallic that stays behind might give you like a crazy, almost pearlescent sheen to regular paint, which could be cool. It'd be worth playing with. I have not done it, but I would play with it and see what you get.
You guys can see I'm just lightly building this up. Try not to over add paint in the middle sections. But even just that little bit, like even down here, really looks nice. Where it looks like it's kind of worn away at the edges. Look at what it looked like before.
Yeah, then they release a new edition and rework how the game works. Game really says, "I'll send you love, Jason." Oh wait, you got snooty about troll taxonomy. Never mind. You're just making words up.
Sounds
Taxonomy,
like a grudge right there.
not even a word. Not even a real word. I just said it wasn't a cave troll. Cave trolls live in caves. That guy's an outside troll.
This is an outside troll, guys.
That was an internet troll. You should know that, Game Delay.
Internet trolls are inside trolls, though.
You never know where they're trolling you from. They could be at a restaurant. Internet trolls are
Restaurants
savvy
still
like
inside.
that.
Still inside.
They're savvy. They could stop right in the middle of a delicious meal to remind
Delicious
you
meal trolls.
to remind you how wrong they think you are. 3-player Underworlds is a great game. Oh, the new rules remove being able to do 3 players. Oh, they've always had issues with balancing the bespoke warbands versus stuff from the compendium. Are the bespoke better or the compendium stuff better? What's up, bud? You still excited for the new colors and washes from yesterday? March is far away. It'll be here before you know it.
It will be,
It-
which is
it's
Literally, but I don't know how
Yeah.
you feel, but can I remind you that it's only about 3 weeks before 2025?
I leave on vacation next week.
And that sounds stupid.
That's terrifying
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
terrifying.
Way
The
to rub
end
it
of the
in,
year.
Jordan.
I don't think it could be into the year
Sorry.
I
time.
haven't had a vacation in years. But you go ahead and enjoy yours.
You know what, Jen? You deserve a vacation. You guys should take one.
Don't tell her that.
PK, we are
What?
not finished with the orders from Black Friday weekend. No. We'll send you an email with the shipping confirmation. So don't worry about the app.
I think they're
You're
nearly
saying it
done with
doesn't show up
Sunday.
under your account on the website.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
You know,
Absolutely crazy. It makes us feel so bad this time of year because it's like, what?
Yeah, this year was trouble.
Every year is crazier than the last, and there's no good way to plan for it. We've thought about, like, how do you hire part-time help? And I'm like, you know what I don't want is I don't want all the customers that support us to get their orders wrong.
Yeah.
And it seems silly to say that, but if we were to just hire a bunch of part-time help, do you know how many colors would be messed up getting to people? And
Mm-hmm.
My
order
my
pulling's not easy around here with 120 plus
Well, and our
colors.
team is really
I
good,
have
too.
friends who said, "Hey, if you need help, I can put stuff in boxes and put labels on boxes for you." And I'm like,
No.
I'm like, really not.
No.
I mean, I appreciate you.
The thought matters,
The
and we thank you.
It's a very generous offer.
But no,
You
thank you.
would give up your time without paying you, but
Oh,
take
wow,
more time
seriously.
for me to teach them how to do it.
The actual Warcry armies are worse than the just using like the Stormcast Eternal dudes.
What?
That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem
Seems
right
like
at all.
games. That seems very not like Games Workshop at all, right? Don't you think Games Workshop would have made the models that you bought, the new cool Warcry models, better than the general ones?
I do want to go back to PK's statement that my order doesn't show up under my account on the website. You should definitely be able to see an order. If you've placed an order, it should be like in your order history, I would think.
Should be, unless you ordered it without being logged in.
Okay. If you do have concerns about it, we can't do anything right here, but send us an email to support@monumenthobbies.com and we'll look up the order number, see where it is.
Ooh, this is turning out really nice.
Well, Tomaton says every day you get to be with Chad is like a vacation.
That's not
I mean,
true.
As someone who worked for UPS for a lot of years, I can vouch for the whole seasonal employees can be well. Oh, I saw somebody mention that on the web today because there was a big blowout about shipping for some company. It was actually another UPS employee roadside jumped into the chat and was like, listen, I've worked for UPS for decades and was saying the same thing about seasonal help. Was that you? Did you jump into a Facebook conversation today? Because I said basically the same thing, that UPS struggles during the holidays with temporary help because they destroy so many things and the box handling is horrible and the whole nine. Law Dog says, I bet I can make Wizard's butt with no training, and I'd do it for free. I'll just scoop any pretty drippings into bottles. Ugh. Ugh. That sounds horrible when you say it that way.
Ugh.
Can we not use the word drippings?
Sticky stuff?
Let's not use sticky stuff either.
Grant said it takes special skill to make Wizard's butt. Look the labels.
Whoa.
There's something new. Fun fact for you guys today. Got a bottle of Wizard's butt. A little something extra for you.
I didn't know we licked the labels.
I didn't either.
I want that job now.
Whoa. I don't lick the labels. That's not for me. Mm-mm.
Avocado Molotov, love your products. What are we painting today? Well, first of all, thank you for the love. We appreciate that.
Thank you for that awesome name, Avocado Molotov.
That's true.
I like it. I like it.
Jordan is painting
A werewolf.
a
from
werewolf.
French Crusade. It's
No, George's fiance died from licking the cheap blue envelopes for their wedding invitation.
Oh, that's right. Oh, funny, not funny.
He was being frugal. Like, we don't need to get the expensive ones. Let's get the fake ones, cheaper ones. She sealed all the envelopes and died.
As you do.
who is this?
George Costanza.
Jen keeps trying every year to have us send out our annual update card.
Here.
And you know why
You
it
put 'em in
never
the
goes out?
envelopes.
It never goes out because she wants me to lick all the envelopes. And I'm like, I'm not falling for this. I saw Seinfeld.
Well, but we don't. If you don't have any email confirmation from us, it could be there could be issues. So send us an email with your order number, and we'll look into it because PayPal sometimes will autofill old addresses, things like that.
Yeah,
so
you should
we
check
wanna
up on that.
it. Because the 30th, I believe they're past the orders from that day.
Yes.
It's not hard for us to check, so just shoot a
They
quick
were
email over
working
to
through
support.
the end of December 1st.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Bud can't wait to see what color Wizard's butt surfaces after the production run of the new colors.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting thought.
Never thought about that, but I'm thinking about it now.
Refined paint palette. What is going on?
Oh, RF. Kruger said, "Can I ask how you paint a messy skull? I saw some videos of people using blue, yellow, red, and some flesh wash. Messy skull?
A messy skull? like a dirty, grimy skull? Is that kind of
We
what you're
paint it
looking for?
messily.
Hey, Grant, be careful. This group of chat, they will hold you to it, and they will never let you forget. You just said
Careful with that plaid dog.
So every time from now on you come into chat, someone's going to ask you about it.
It's true.
Yeah, that's Grant, our production lead. I'm going to need you guys to take that up with Grant. Cthulhu SARS. That has nothing to do with me.
Or me.
Or me.
I'm not involved in this.
All of us are like, not it.
Yeah, I am not taking any responsibility for that.
Not it.
I
will give you Grant's personal cell phone.
Yeah, we've already said that plaid paint is like 2073.
Yep.
So do you want to know how
2073
big of a
something
nerd Grant is? I did not know this until today when I finally saw that he has a personalized license plate on his car. His license plate is
no.
Jedi Killer. Nerd.
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 All right. This is dark silver over that undercoat. And it looks freaking awesome.
That's pretty rusty.
Pretty rusty. Now we got to do a light dry brush of silver. And then I'm going to go back in. I'm going to line in some of these bits of these like runes and stuff with a brighter color. And then I'm going to start painting the fur.
Kruger, when you say yeah with a little bit of flesh left over it, a little bit of flesh like flaps on the skull. The what throws me is when you say blue, yellow, and red. Were they doing CMYK painting? Because blue, yellow, and red will make any color. So they could have been mixing bone color out of it with white and black. Or were you able to see the blue, yellow, and red? That doesn't make sense on a skull to me to do it in blue, yellow, red, like primary colors like that. But if they were mixing it, then that would make sense. Right. The one and only, what color for the rust? This was dark flesh and then orange.
Dark flesh, burnt orange, and then burnt orange plus orange, and then orange plus, did I use dark or I just use regular? Orange brown.
Just a bunch of oranges stippled over one another.
Yep.
And then dry brush silver over the top. It's a method we've been teaching people for nearly a decade that works super well for making dirty metal happen really, really quick. And you can do it with any color. We've done it with verdigris underneath coppery colors, underneath golds and bronzes with different colors. You can do this with any color metal you want. Obviously, it has a huge impact when you do the rust and silver together.
And you can see that I'm hitting just the top edges of things, trying to avoid hitting the bottom edge because it's the brighter color.
Okran says, I didn't betray my Jedi. He's just another clone. I think he thinks of himself as a Sith.
I mean, he did say, or his license plate says Jedi Killer.
Yes.
It's about as Sith-like as you can get.
He says, I spoke to the production team and they said no on the plaid. So basically everybody in the whole company said not it, leaving Grant holding the keys to that car.
Well, talk to Grant. Anytime anybody asks, talk to Grant.
Yeah, when we start getting the customer service things, Grant will start to see his email blow up.
Yep. It's like,
who are all these people saying we need plaid wizard's butt?
Yeah. Almost like somebody said something about plaid wizard's butt.
Okran says, I just love Rex. Who's Rex? Is this Rex that he's painting?
I don't think so.
Oh, Rex is a clone. They have names?
Some of them do.
He's a clone in the new not Star Wars stuff?
I mean, Rex has been a clone since, like, the Clone Wars. Pretty sure.
Is Rex like his number? His designation was RX-108?
No, the clone, it's one of the commanders. It's the commander of Anakin's Legion during the Clone Wars. That he was the general of.
They didn't give them all names, dude. They had numbers.
No. They do have numbers. The commanders have like names that they're called by.
Huh.
So there's like clone commanders. Cody is the like commander for Obi-Wan's Legion. The 308 or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of them do have names. Those are the two more famous ones because they're close to main characters. Yeah, Commander Cody.
Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen is an amazing band you should go listen to, which must be where they got that name from.
The clone Commander Cody, is that what you said?
Must be.
Yeah.
Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen. The 60s, 70s.
Well, if it's 60s and 70s, it would have been before.
Southern rock band. Oh, it was way before Lucas came up with it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, so Lucas would have gotten it from that potential. Yeah. Clone Captain Rex. Yeah, I don't know if they all had names or not. If they just
The
had
clones
designations.
chose their names from what, a book?
Probably. Like here's a collection of cool names.
Rex was a clone Captain Rex. Rex was CT7567. You guys are nerds.
You guys are nerds.
You guys are nerds. His designation was CT7567. He commanded the 501st.
Have I ever told you
They had a
Jason,
random name generator on Google.
So you're a Star Trek guy.
Careful.
I have a friend.
I am not a Star Trek. Like I can't
No.
speak Klingon.
No,
so
you're
let's just
good.
Be careful.
You're
let's
good.
Let's keep it on an even keel here. I enjoy Star Trek.
You will appreciate this funny thing that happened.
I don't know, I just have to interject and say I don't know what I would do if today was the day I found out Jason spoke Klingon.
Kerpla, mach, chop.
I mean, that's pretty on point, I think.
I probably just cursed somebody out and have no idea, but I was basically just making hairball sounds.
I'll put it this way, Jen. He has seen enough Star Trek to have it sound very convincing, at least.
Okay.
So, but anyways, I was driving down to Oregon.
What time of time you shush? She has refused to get down on one knee and give me a ring for 10 years. 10 years.
We're not quite to the 10
Deadbeat
yet.
says, what did he say about my mom?
What did he say about my mom? Oh my god.
The bathroom is out back. Is that what I just said?
That's too good. Oh my gosh.
I feel like if you're speaking Klingon, you're swearing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jason, how is this a surprise? You say morning nerds to Discord almost every day. Almost every day being the principal thing. I typed it yesterday and forgot to hit return. Or what I did is I was taught, when I do the shift key at the morning nerds part, I hit the shift and hit return and it carriage. Gave me an extra line. So I went back in later and was scrolling through chat, and there in the chat window was my morning nerds, and I felt bad because it was like late afternoon, evening. Avocado Molotov says, I may be turning nerdy for this place, though.
Yep.
I don't think you can be too nerdy for us.
No.
It's just we are going to call you out on it. If you speak Klingon and stuff, that's great.
Yeah. So, I have a friend who's a huge Star Trek guy.
Uh-huh.
Now, he's not the kind that, like, knows Klingon and that sort of thing. But he's, like, incredibly knowledgeable about all the things. And, like, knowledgeable to the point where he had a Star Trek trivia book that we were, like, reading questions off to him in the car just for fun. And, I mean, it's like a 600 page. It's huge. And he's like, all right, these questions are too easy. The way that we need to change the rules for this is you guys need to read the answers.
Jeopardy? Make it like Jeopardy?
Yeah, you guys have to read the 4 answers to me, and I have to tell you the question and the correct answer. So, one of the questions...
Dude, what are you talking about? You could just go, you just go, Mr. Spock.
Well, how about this one? We read him a question. There were 4 sets of numbers for the answers. It was like 1, 4, 5, 7, 9, 2, 12, or 2, 1, 5, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was like 1, 2, 7, dash 4, 6, and like so on and so forth. And he's like,
"Oh, I see. Okay, I'm getting it right now."
Yeah.
So there's one question with 4
Like multiple
Correct.
choice.
multiple choice answers.
Yes.
Okay.
So the book is laid up, so it's one question. And giving him the question, we were
Read all the answers.
reading the different answers to him, and then he was telling us what the question was and the answer.
You just read that book 50.
He had never read it before in his life. He had just bought it. I saw him buy it in a bookstore. It was great. And so,
That's the second copy.
So yeah, right, he just bought a second copy to make it look good.
Yeah.
So we read him out
Staged.
the random numbers. He's like, these sound kind of familiar. He's like, I wonder if the question is, what is the prefix code for the Reliant? And it's this one. And it was the right question, and it was the right answer.
That's like living with Jen, dude. It's like she's
so
like
crazy.
this. She's like this built-in like
I
Wikipedia
could do
for
that with
nerd
like
info.
Friends.
It was
I've
insane.
seen every episode of Friends a million times. I could probably do that.
Of Friends.
Yeah. Certain things I have a lot of like really useless knowledge about.
Well, I don't know if I would call it
Deadbeat
useless.
said he did the Duolingo Klingon course for the lulz.
Oh, jeez. I didn't even realize they had it. That's hilarious.
Your biggest annoyance at the Clone Wars show is the retcon of the inhibitor chip. I like the darker version where the clones were full-on willing participants.
Wait, what's this? I'm not familiar with this.
I'm assuming that it means that they had an inhibitor chip that inhibited their ability to disobey orders or something.
Yeah.
You know, so they could claim they were just following orders, as opposed to the darker version where it was like, oh hell yeah, we'll kill the kids.
Oh, yeah.
The prefix code for the Reliant is 16309. Jordan says Avocado Molotov. Did you have to go look that up? Is Google your friend, or did you just know
That's
that?
hilarious. But yes, that
Tech Elf goes,
16309.
duh, everybody knows that. Of course they do. I had a buddy that knew all of the ship codes. He could tell you in canon all of the codes. Like if you would go the NCC, 1946 or whatever, he could tell you the type of ship that it was, right? He could tell you who the main captain was if it had seen any known captaincy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it had appeared in shows or movies, what show or movie it appeared in. It's like, that's so crazy.
I imagine the type
What's
of
the
ship.
Reliant? The Reliant is the ship that Khan stole in Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Bud says the audio looks out of sync.
Audio looks out of sync. The audio looks out of sync. The audio looks out of sync.
How would that happen?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Weird internet things? I don't know. We had weird... we were streaming yesterday, and Restream didn't tell us that we were online the whole time. But we were very clearly online.
Some weirdness. We're going to be redoing like the entire stream the week between Christmas and New Year's. It's time for a get under the hood, redo it thing. So though when we come back in the new year, it's going to be great. It does mean that as we get towards the end of the year, we're going to be doing our kind of our big Christmas blowout stream next week, next Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
next
my
Thursday.
gosh. Yeah,
So we're gonna be having our big 12 Nerds of Christmas Christmas stream next Thursday where we do all of our giveaways, and then between Christmas and New Year's for that week we will not have any streams. We may do some test streams, Christopher and I, as we get the new computer and all that stuff hooked up. But we're going to be rearranging the studio, breaking down cameras and resetting up cameras and doing all sorts of big changes here. So we'll keep you posted in the Discord on all of that stuff. But lots of fun things happening.
Thank you for the sub for 76 months. 76
Thank
months, that's a
you.
very long time.
Holy cow.
Avocado
76?
Molotov says, I knew. I watched entirely too much Trek. So those aren't just the things that you know by watching Star Trek, though.
You have to go look them up.
You have to go look that stuff up.
Yeah, you do have to look that stuff up.
Like the prefix code for the Reliant, was that even known anywhere?
It's probably on the ship, right? Because it's usually...
Well, maybe
no, it wouldn't be prefix.
Maybe on the fuselage.
Yeah, it
like
might be on the fuselage
bottom
somewhere.
thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
But that requires you to just be looking at it and memorize it.
That's the kind of attention I just can't pay to those things because I'm too busy watching the flashing lights and the
right. They're firing torpedoes at some Klingon ship or something, right?
You see it on screen when they put it in.
Yeah, because they blow up the Reliant, right? No, they blow up the Enterprise.
Yeah.
In Con, they don't blow up the Reliant. I don't think they don't ever go to the Reliant.
May the Force live long and prosper.
Oh, but they
They
transfer
blow the Reliant.
Well, they transfer the access codes to the Reliant, so that might be when you see the prefix code get entered in.
Oh, maybe so, right? Because don't they beam themselves onto the Reliant and then blow up the Enterprise? Don't they have to shoot their own ship? Isn't that how that goes?
Well, they blow up
trick
the
Khan at the end.
Oh yeah, because they switch over to the Reliant at the end,
Something like
and they blow up the Enterprise.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they self-destruct the Enterprise. Well, they break off the
Game Delay says, I can testify that it's possible to watch that movie several times and never remember a single number of any kind. I just remember earwigs.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, that and the Genesis machine or whatever they called it.
It was like, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Wrath of Khan, that's on you.
And to be clear, we're talking about the original Wrath
We
of Khan.
typically
Wrath of
say,
Khan was
we
like
typically give you like a
1982.
5-week spoiler alert around here. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Like late 70s or early 80s.
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban.
I
The
haven't
Ricardo
seen
Montalban.
that movie in so long.
There's
I gotta go
all the
watch it again.
conspiracy talk on whether or not that was really his chest or a prosthetic.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it was a
I'm of the
prosthetic.
prosthetic
Yeah,
crowd.
I
I
think
mean-
so.
I'm gonna be honest. He's looking pretty fit in that movie.
Yeah, but it was a prosthetic.
He
Flapjack
wasn't-
says
he
that
wasn't
came
like
out before
that on
I was
Fantasy
born.
Island.
You still have Wrath of Khan on VHS? I would if I still had any VHS tapes. I think somewhere in my storage out in Apache Junction are some VHS anime from back before most of you were born. I have anime.
VHS anime?
Yeah, like VHS original
Talking about like
non-sub, non-dub Ninja Scroll. I had a
Oh,
buddy in
geez.
Japan in the military, and he used to send me back VHS that was of anime that was sold at like a corner, like
yeah.
street peddler
Jeez.
that had like color printed and glued onto it the labels,
That's awesome.
right?
That's so good.
Yeah, the problem is none of them have labels on them anymore because it was just like paper with Mod Podge or something, back
Oh
in the
jeez.
day.
Yeah, so
And
they all
they're so old now that the paper lifted off of the plastic, so I don't know. I got to put them in and watch them, but I don't have who has a VCR?
Well, you'd also have to have a VCR that's not region locked either, probably, because all that stuff would be region locked. Well, if it's a rip, then it probably wouldn't be.
On a VHS
Not
tape?
on VHS.
Oh, is that only a CD thing?
Yeah,
I'm thinking about CDs. Sorry.
There's no
Digital.
technology there. There's not digital.
digital.
Yeah, because it was all you're just playing the tape on the VHS.
It's
Yeah.
a tape
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like literal
Yeah,
tape
yeah, yeah.
inside of it.
It, it took me a second to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I have Akira, Ninja Scroll, the original Ninja Scroll. I have some of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Is that what it's called?
Is it that old?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Oh, JoJo's is super old.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a remake? Is the thing one they're doing now a remake, or is it just a continuation?
They've
of the...
probably made remakes of it, but JoJo's is pretty old.
Don't feel old, Mo. I'm just a baby. There's the difference.
Yeah, the
You're
original Ninja
very
Scroll was
reasonable
awesome. The
age.
Ninja Scroll 2 was actually good too, but it didn't fit. Like it wasn't really a sequel. It just used the name and sort of time period. Yeah, it was really weird how different they were. But the original Ninja Scroll is awesome and awesome animation. It's one you should go back and try to watch. I can't find it anywhere. Like I don't even know where you go to look for that.
Well, apparently your
My
storage
box and storage.
in Apache Junctions where you look
Right.
for that.
I borrowed a VCR from an AV friend of mine to copy all of my mom's old VHS stuff. Was amazed he had one. Yeah. Region lock for analog would be just like a physical tab. Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
Exactly. It's like the tab on the VHS tapes that you break it off and you couldn't record on it. A buddy of mine had a thing where you could put on the it was a little clip thing he made that you could put on the Blockbuster videotapes and record over them.
Jeez. That's funny.
He would keep them and blank them and then record over them.
Jeez.
You can get the original Ninja Scroll on Blu-ray. Who has a Blu-ray player? Jen and I were talking about that the other day. We don't have anything in our house that would play a Blu-ray.
You have no console?
I think I think my computer in my office has a drive.
I don't even have a CD drive in my computer anymore.
The last thing I had was like the PlayStation 4 would play Blu-ray. And
Yeah.
that's the whole reason I bought that thing is that it was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market for a long time was the PS4,
Yep. True.
right?
Weird, but true.
I don't buy Xboxes. Pro Paint Taster says, I bet Jason has it on Laserdisc. Dude, if I still had my Pioneer Laserdisc player, that would be amazing. I had the best Laserdisc collection in the world. Maybe not in the world, but I had the original Star Wars trilogy on Laserdisc.
Whoa.
That was the Laserdisc where they put back in all the cutout stuff. It was only ever... That rendition, I think, had at the time only ever been released on Laserdisc. They may have now put it out again in digital somewhere. I also had the Godfather trilogy where it was done. It was remastered to have all of the stuff from Godfather 2 put in chronological order with Godfather 1. I don't think they've ever done that again. That was only on Laserdisc. Laserdisc was crazy back in the day. But it was also stupid expensive. And you want to talk about heavy crap to move?
Laserdisc
Laserdisc
players?
weighed a ton.
Really?
Oh my God.
Huh.
Each Laserdisc was like the weight of 3 albums.
What the heck?
How many discs was it for Star Wars? I think it was 2 per movie. So 6? Does that sound right? Might have been 1 per movie because they were double-sided.
Laserdisc was after VHS? Before? Or before?
Right around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, there was Betamax, Laserdisc, and VHS.
Yeah. VHS 1. Put all those scenes back when they re-release it for Blu-rays. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Monkey Snacks said, nice paint job so far on the Trench Crusade model.
Why, thank you.
We're having a lot of fun with these models. They're great.
They're great.
Mo, everybody now knows what albums is because vinyl is like having a resurgence. So
Oh,
yes, Jordan
There's-
knows what an album is.
There's like new
I've
companies
noticed
that
it, yeah.
press vinyl now. All those old vinyl factories are opening back up and doing like colored vinyl and silly stuff like that.
I saw like a short of somebody in one of those factories like actually doing the press, and I had never seen it before. I was like, this is cool. How they like put all the little thing, and then it squeezes it flat, and then it cuts off the edges to make it nice and round. It's super cool.
Did PS3 play Blu-rays?
Yes.
Or was it PS4?
PlayStation 3 was the first one to have Blu-rays.
Was it? Okay, then the PS3 is the one I bought to play Blu-rays.
It might have been the second edition of the PlayStation 3
I feel like
Pro or something like that.
I feel like PS4 I bought solely to play Bloodborne.
Oh yeah, because it launched with Bloodborne.
Was that it?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So PS3 had Blu-ray. So I bought a PS3 that was strictly as a Blu-ray player was the reason I wanted it. There was nothing else. I mean, I probably got some games for it eventually down the road. But PS4 I bought because Bloodborne. 100% only because Bloodborne, because I'm such a Dark Souls fan. And I think on the PS4 I might have played Destiny for a bit. But that would have been like, I probably literally only had like 2 or 3 games for that whole console.
Four Pig Bacon is looking for another explanation of the monthly challenge. Said, I think I may be confused with what I'm doing.
Make us cold.
There you
When
go.
we look at it, we want to have the scene make us feel the cold chilliness of it. You can use whatever colors you want. You can set the scene with whatever model you want. When we look at it, we want to be taken into a world that feels cold. Right? So it's a storytelling challenge, more so than a pick the paint color and do the stuff. Now, it's easier to do that with cool colors. Obviously, blues, whites, grays will make you just feel cold because it feels like a gray, wintry day when you use those colors. But we've had people ask us, well, can I use reds and things? Yeah, you can definitely use warmer colors. It's just going to be a little more difficult to make them appear cold. You're going to have to set the scene with more desaturation and things like that. So,
Source, he's not gonna know. He's not gonna.
yeah, PS3 I had PS3 I had Demon Souls on.
Yeah.
PS4 was Bloodborne, and PS5 was the Demon Souls remake. And I do not have a PS5, and the only reason I don't have a PS5 is because the only reason I would have bought PS5 is for the Demon Souls remake.
I bought mine for what is it? God of War 2.
Oh.
Which I still have not beaten.
Papa Chicken says,
So-
Jen, did you see the new John Benet Ramsey documentary?
I have not seen it. So without having seen it, my opinion of what happened is that either her dad or her brother killed her. I think her brother.
Somebody was jealous.
Yeah.
Is there new info in that thing, Pop Chicken?
Who
It's
is
a
this?
little late, right?
Who's this person?
John Benet Ramsey was like the little 10-year-old girl.
She wasn't even that. She was like 6 or 7 years old, beauty queen, like little pageant queen,
Yeah.
like little pageant princess, little girl, and from a very wealthy family in Colorado.
I think she got unalived.
And she
Ooh.
was
Oh no.
Christmas morning.
Christmas
the day
morning.
after Christmas or something. They found her in the basement or something, and then they found like a note that had very specific like ransom amount because they didn't before they found her they thought she'd been kidnapped, and
Yeah.
so they found notes, and it was the whole thing.
Huh.
But it's super suspicious. It has been.
It's
for
been pretty much
decades.
known the whole time that it's like OJ being innocent. The whole John Benet is akin to the OJ trials.
Got it.
But now her mom has passed away since, and but yeah, I've always brother.
I've always suspected the brother.
Deadbeat artist is like, holy crap, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Exactly, right? It keeps coming up. Yeah, I remember
And then there's a whole conspiracy theory that Katy Perry is actually John Benet Ramsey.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I
that
love
John
those.
Benet never really died. They just stole
I
her
love
away
those
and turned her
theories.
into Katy Perry.
Yeah,
Wait,
I love those
why-
theories.
I don't know why.
I need to look at this up
I
to
don't know
see
why.
what their justification
There's
is for trying.
maybe could potentially be a similarity in their appearance, but
Question: What do we got? What do we recommend for making puddles on bases? If you want to have a material, then the 2-part clear resins that you use for water effects work great. Nowadays, you can use the clear UV curing resin. That's just a 1-part. You just put it on there, and then you get one of the little UV flashlights and cure it real quick. That works really well too. Either of those are great, and just using a little bit of that and putting it on the base, and then curing it is the best way to do it. Anything else frosts over and is tough to do. You can paint it, and then use like gloss varnish over the top of the color paint that you use for the water, and you can make do if you have a smooth enough surface. Some people will do that on top of just the base without any basing material on it. You put basing material around it, and then you paint the base glossy where you want the water effect to be, so you could get away with that too. But the resin is the best way to do it.
Sugar Rush said, "How dare you? The glove didn't fit." Poor Big Bacon. I was like, "You were in bookcase. What does that mean?" Boot camp.
If it does not fit, must it quit.
What an interesting thing to come out of that.
Some people said the dad might have funded it or something. There was a lot of weird stuff
Yeah,
there.
there's
It's just
some-
crazy people doing crazy things is what it was. You thought the brother did
For
it?
sure.
Ransom amount was equivalent to the dad's bonus, and I'm sure the kid knew about it. Oh, that's crazy. Boot camp getting wisdom teeth pulled when that story broke with the John Benet Ramsey one. Favorite thing about the O.J. Simpson situation is how the victim's family now owns the rights to his book, and in like 5-point font is "if but I did it" and 35-point font.
So
What?
his book, OJ wrote a book called "If I Did It."
Right.
And I don't understand that. About the...
Oh, they put "if" in 6-point font, and "I did it" in 35-point font.
Gotcha.
So the "if" is small, and it says
okay,
"I
now
did
I
it."
see it. Now I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they sued him and won and got the rights to all of that stuff.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If
I
you
mean,
get-
releasing a book like that is in pretty bad taste, regardless.
Just try to make money. I mean, you're talking about a guy that went to jail after the fact because he went and stole back a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
he sold on eBay of all of his old like Super Bowl rings and
Memorabilia.
stuff.
A weird dude.
That ransom note is the longest in U.S. history. Seriously?
Wait, really?
John Benet?
Yeah,
pages?
it says 3
Doesn't
pages
sound
on a
like-
ransom note or
That
something.
doesn't. Right? But I mean, you just watch the documentary, so I won't question it until I watch it.
I mean, let's be honest. Most ransom notes are "give me the money." It's like 2 sentences
well,
written
because
in
it's really
bomb
hard
letters.
to cut all those letters out of the newspaper and glue them all together. You got to make it
Jen's-
brief.
I love bomb letter notes. That is so good. I love that there's a font on the computer for that.
Is there really?
Oh yeah,
Oh
they're
my
good ones
gosh.
too. You can't put a brassiere on over a leotard. It's got to go on over the skin like a glove. Captain Mannery's good to see you. Bit of a rough health day. Hope you're doing better.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, usually ransom notes are super short. $1 million, trash can, or else. You don't need a lot of words. The more you write, the more chances you have to leave behind evidence. Like, what do you write? Oh, and this is like totally not his son. And don't get any crazy ideas. This isn't the neighbor.
This isn't the neighbor.
I forgot that OJ died this year.
OJ died this year? How long ago was
Yep.
this trial? Long time ago.
How
right?
long ago was the trial?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. 90s?
96, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
You know, 3 pages for a ransom note sounds like a lawyer wrote it.
Game delay? Was that from Game delay?
Yep. Okay, but where am I going to find a $1 million trash can? No, it's $1 million in a trash can on the corner. You know what I love? I found these things on the Tic Tacs,
The Tic Tacs?
the crazy kids in their Tic Tac videos, where there's this guy or multiple people. I don't know. I never pay attention enough to know if it's the same dude all the time. But it's a guy who will take like a $100 bill and like put it in an envelope and duct tape it underneath of like a mailbox, you know, and then do a quick drawback panorama of the corner where the mailbox is and leave.
And people have to go find
And
it.
people have to go find it. So it's like a you know
Oh, there's a guy that I
hunt.
follow on TikTok who is really good at that. People like send him stuff,
Yeah.
And he goes through his whole process, and in like a 3-minute video, he explains how quickly he can find them. And he has found everyone. So far.
the guys that find people on the map based on their picture is crazy. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they'll send him a video. They'll
That's
like,
nuts.
hey, where am I? And they'll like turn a little bit, and it's insane. Yeah.
there's a
Like,
whole
you have
game.
lot of free
There's a
time.
guy who's a
called
forensic.
GeoGuessr.
There's a guy who's a forensic scientist who does environmental forensic. I don't know what it's called, but there are videos that I've seen on YouTube of his process where people have taken videos of themselves committing crimes, and the police give it over to him. He's
Crazy.
in California someplace. And there was a guy who said, I forget what it was, he cut his ankle monitor for his house arrest off and like threw it into the bushes. And then there was some TikTok guy that went and made a video about how they found him, and he had stolen this forensic guy's method to do it, because the forensic guy, you know, allowed the police to go catch the guy because of just like the guy took a stupid selfie of him throwing his house arrest ankle bracelet thing over the guardrail on the highway, and because of like a particular telephone pole and a particular building in the background and the way the trees were and the sunlight at the time of day, you know, it's like total Batman detective stuff. They backtracked it and found the ankle device, found out who it belonged to, and went and got the guy.
Have you heard of GeoGuessr before?
That's what she's talking about.
Yeah, it's just like a game that people play. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I've watched
People send a photo in and goes, oh, you know what? That looks like Ireland, and I think that's the blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you know that?
Yeah, it just uses Google Maps. It's like one spot that you're standing. You can rotate the camera around to see like the environment around you, and from that you have to figure out exactly where you are.
That's nuts to me.
And the closer you get, the higher the score.
That's nuts to me.
It's insane. But there's like it's funny because I've watched people play, and I'm like, it's amazing how different little things are. Like markings on the street that would indicate what part of the world you're in.
Oh, yeah.
Or like the style of buses or the license plate.
Never show streets.
Never show
streets, because you can tell very, very easily where you are. Always be in the countryside.
Yep.
And even then, there's that dude that he just nails it. He's like within a mile of where
It's
you are.
crazy.
And people are like, that can't be true. Red Spartan says, and in terms of OJ trial dates, I wasn't even born yet.
I was barely born. I was a youngin'.
You're starting to think this dog has a limited social life. Which one? This one? This warhound?
Yeah, his wolf ain't feeling too good.
His
about
friends
life.
don't normally call him up to hang out. I think we pretty much be there. Monument are a wealth of knowledge, but also randomness. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Monument Hobby stream.
Checks out.
That checks out. We know a lot of weird things about a lot of weird things. Jen is a specialist in TSI or crime-related things. I am not. But I know a
Deadbeat's
lot
got
about
it right.
video games.
He's like, what goes through a person's mind to take a TikTok video of themselves cutting their ankle bracelet off and throwing it over the guardrail on a highway in the first place? Isn't that the kind of thing you don't want to say out loud?
That's every episode of Live PD.
Yeah, it is every
And-
episode of Live PD.
And this is why I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's like,
so
what were
silly.
you thinking?
Poor pig bacon, don't eat the paint. You know better. Can you remember watching the OJ trial on TV? Me too.
Yep.
I was homesick. I was in college. I was homesick the day of the verdict. I saw it live. Insane.
If you're gonna run, just run. Don't tell anybody. It's the hardest thing about changing your whole life around, right? You watch these videos where people are like, oh, it's easy. I can get you fake IDs and new credit cards and everything in a matter of 24 hours. He goes, that's the easy part, is getting you a fake identity. The hard part is you living up to it.
Yep.
Right? The hard part is you letting go of 100% of your
Mhm.
life and going and becoming this new person. Because if you can do it, there's a lot of people doing it.
I mean, imagine
a lot
me,
of people
right?
doing it and get away with it every day.
I'd
But
basically
think about
never
how
be able to
hard that
paint.
would be. You can't talk to anybody you've ever known before
Yep.
again,
Yep.
ever.
Yep.
Ever.
I would never be able to paint in public again. I would have to do something totally not related to the hobby for the rest of my life. Like, that's crazy. To
Jordan
me
has
to
thought
think
about this.
No, I literally just thought about it, and it's like I'm going down the dominoes of like how deep you'd have to go to really like completely be innocuous to every other part of your life. Where
Could never
somebody can
talk to
find
your
you.
family again.
Yeah.
Could never talk to anybody you've ever spoken to or have interactions with anybody you've ever known in your life ever again. So
Roadside,
people commit crimes, then put it
Same.
on social media as one of the many signs we're living in the idiocracy movie. 100%. They're doing it like it's a TV show.
yeah.
Gen X, you're happy that you did all your shenanigans before everybody and their mother had cameras everywhere. 100%.
Yep.
100%. You have to understand, we are the last generation that's not on film, like filming our poops and our dinner.
Yep.
Right? The world seemed like a smaller place back then. It was crazy.
Yeah, now everything is close to everything else. So easily
Hello,
accessible.
Jade. You're ready for Friday already? It's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday, Jade.
I'm so sorry.
Panic Bomb says you could no longer put tartar sauce on chicken, baby J.
Uh-oh.
They would find you.
Punisher. Wait a minute. Punisher said, I never have to talk to my family or any of you lot again. Where do I sign for this?
Dang.
Just wait
pun.
until you can't,
Thought we
and
were
then you'll be
friends.
sad.
Dang, pun. Derelictor, what's going on? Yeah, right, Colonel. Punisher would miss us. He couldn't handle it. Like a day or two into this journey, Pun would be like, no, I got caught. How'd you get caught? I had to watch Twitch. I was in the monument
Had to see what
deal.
Jordan was painting.
I was in the monument stream. and
It's true.
I even
wouldn't
changed
laugh.
my Twitch handle, but I had to admit I was still Punisher.
Game Delay adopts a new identity, shows up in Monument Hobbies chat, is exposed in moments.
Exactly. See? This sounds a lot like Gamed Ile. He does have a liar badge. Also true.
Yeah.
Roadside says, I can also admit that the town I grew up in has laws and rules and law changes because of me and my friends. That's
Oh
how
my
it is.
gosh.
So my sisters had to put up with a big funny one because in junior high, they went to the same junior high I did. And the junior high wrote new rules the year that my buddies and I were in. It was 9th grade. 7th, 8th, and 9th was what we called junior high in Texas, right? Middle school and a lot of places. But 9th was technically a high school grade, right? It was your freshman year of high school, but you did it in the junior high
Yeah.
building.
Yep.
And it was Mohawks and nonsense for us that year. And the school district instituted a rule that your hair, for boys, your hair could stand, and this is important for the time frame. Jen will laugh because it was only for boys that our hair could not stand up further than like 2 inches from the top of our head, right? The reason they didn't make it for girls is because this was the day and age where girls did the big poodle puff thing in the front of their hair.
which is larger than 2 inches.
The whole style was like their hair was like 9 inches higher than their skull, you know? So so they did that. They made that rule, and it ruined it for a lot of kids coming after us. They had to, by the time my sisters were in junior high, they had to like petition the school because it had changed to like, you know, maybe it included girls by then. It was crazy.
We when we were going through some stuff in our garage, I was repacking some old boxes and I found my high school yearbooks. So I had to show Jason all the hair. Here in my picture.
Oh, so good.
Some friends of mine that he knows.
And before she even handed it to me, I knew exactly what I was about to see.
Yeah.
Because I lived through that age.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what all the girls look like. All their hair was exactly the same. Yeah. They all had the poof in the front. Yeah. And the blown out look all the way through the sides and back. It was crazy. Yeah. Colonel says, I agree, Jason. It blows my mind how people document everything every day. So there was an interesting one here where it was like about concerts. Where were we? Oh, it was when we went and saw the last show we went to.
Tom Segura?
Yeah, Tom Segura. Mm-hmm. They don't allow phones, and they really cracked down and said no phones.
Well, so here's the thing. Dave Chappelle does not allow phones, and they give you a pouch, you have to put it in and lock it up, and then you can't open it without their little device that they don't give you until they're on the way out.
Right.
So that's different. Tom Segura just had a note saying, please don't take any pictures, don't post anything, we will take your camera. But I follow Tom Segura on Instagram, and that night I saw like 15 stories that he had reposted that people had taken during his show that night.
Yeah.
It might be a venue thing, not a him thing, potentially, you think?
No, it was a him thing.
Oh, really?
He made a whole comment about it. He was talking about it on the thing.
They had a little video. And
he's like, you don't need this on your damn phone. You have it in the best memory stick you have, which is your brain.
Yep.
Right? You just remember it. Sit here, experience it, and remember it. And that was kind of what got me going. Is like, I watch all these concert shots of people saying, oh, look who I saw. And the only thing you can see is 5 million people with their phones out.
I was so disappointed when
filming the stage.
Yeah, when I went to see Duran Duran, which is the crowd was largely my people, my generation, same age.
Yeah.
And I looked over from where we were sitting, and there was a whole section of people, and every single one of them had their phones out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are people who are our age.
Yeah.
Like, they went to they probably saw Duran Duran in the 80s.
I just don't think about filming anything, but I never have. I have to admit, I have always been bad about this. If you find any photos of me out there, none of them were taken by me.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Oh yeah. I
I'm the same way.
But like, I don't have a lot of photos from being on tour. It just never crossed my mind. I was experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah.
And I never thought about needing to take a photo of it. I just
it was
never
also
did.
So different. Like, you had to have a camera with film that you then had to have
such
developed,
a pain in the
and
butt.
it was a process.
That's probably why. That's a good point. Is that I was just never a camera person,
Yeah.
and so in the modern age, I forget that my phone has. I mean, I know my phone has a camera, obviously, but I don't bust it out to take photos of stuff all the time.
I always say I want to be more pictures, video, and stuff.
She says she wants Cora to have a TikTok channel, but
I
she
keep
won't.
saying it.
She won't ever take a video.
Yeah, she's been better. The one day when I told her, I was like, "This is for your TikTok." She
Oh
just
my God! Have we
me.
told them? Have we told you guys the toy? We posted it in Discord, or I posted it in Discord about the damn antler we got for her.
What?
We were at the art show, the Tempe Art Festival,
yeah.
on the weekend, and they have random crap other than art. And we walked by this one place that had a bunch of people with like dog treats or whatever. So we bought a dog treat, which she still hasn't gotten. We need to give it to her.
A little fancy cupcake.
So it's like a
dog
fancy
treat,
cupcake
like a
thing that she
pumpkin
has.
Peanut butter cupcake thing.
So we got to give her a fancy cupcake, but we bought her a cupcake, and then
Like
one of the next booths we went by
Yeah.
was like ultimate chew toys for dogs.
Oh, geez.
And so we looked at it. It was all antlers and bones, and I was like, oh. This is what we're missing, because she is a super chewer.
She is a hardcore chewer. We've talked about that many
stuff.
times. She chews and destroys.
Yeah.
And
she'll sit there
loves
for
it.
Usually
She
for
loves
like
to chew.
30 minutes gnawing on it, and it never ends. It's like as she gnaws on it for like 30 minutes. So we got her this antler. It's a big elk antler, and it's an antler base. So they have different parts of the antler that they do for different sized dogs. And her at 65 pounds, they said, well, we consider her large.
It's all humane. This I was looking at their website, and it's a small business. It's a couple or family, small family, and they go out during shedding season,
Yeah.
and they ethically source these shedded
Oh,
antlers.
wow.
And so we got her an antler base from an elk, and it's huge. Like the base where it hits a skull is enormous. It's probably 3.5 inches in diameter.
Oh my god.
Well, it's not round. It's an elliptical thing. But,
Yeah.
along the long edge, it's got to be like 3.5, 4 inches, and the whole thing's maybe 8 or 9 inches long. And it was like the perfect shape and toy that we know she would like. We got it. We didn't know what we'd think, and I said, well, I bet that she either hates it or it lasts a week because she's gonna love it. Because it has marrow, right? It's got like that antler marrow is probably different than bone marrow, but I don't know. And
I don't think so.
we put it on the floor for her.
Mm-hmm.
She freaked the F out.
I have a video.
Oh, she freaked out.
that I
She
can
started doing this
share.
happy dance that was like, it was like times 10 what she does when we give her food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's dancing around and shaking her head, making some noises after she sniffed it for a bit. And then she got down and dirty with the thing and started chewing on it. And she chewed on that thing. Oh my God. Jen left to go run errands. The dog didn't get up and would not listen to me or pay attention to me for an hour and 45 minutes of nonstop chewing that damn thing. And then she finally took a break to go outside, and she came back and chewed on it. And then Mom got home, she got a little distracted, and then she chewed on it all night long until Jen took it away from her. She just would not, and still, it's like her favorite thing ever.
She moved it into the bedroom last night. Did you?
Oh, yep, she took it in the bedroom. She never takes, or she rarely takes
does.
her toys
She's
around. Every
got
now
a
and then she does.
She's got her bedroom collection and her living room collection and her dining room collection,
Yeah.
and then a box under the island.
The
She has
dog
toys
is-
everywhere.
our dog
all
is
over our-
definitely not
all over our
spoiled.
house.
Okay, maybe a little.
I adore Cora.
But here, I will come over and show you this video really quick.
I have to see this.
All right, I'm gonna put two painter on, and I'm gonna come over and Jason's spot.
Yeah,
There we go.
Rottweiler, exactly right. Yeah.
Cora
She,
is
as
truly
a
a
pit
special
bull like
dog.
Rottweilers, I mean, they can eat through like, freaking
Steel
uh,
fences.
huge bolts.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't splinter.
Right spot here. Okay, just checking it out first.
What's this?
Yeah, we just put it down on the floor.
Here she goes.
It's like we gave her catnip or something. Then she goes back.
And that starts over, but I've got
That's so
multiple
good.
where
She's just taking her time. She's like, I don't know what I did to deserve this, but this is crazy. She's like engineering it out. Like, okay, what's the best plan of attack? It's like the best day of her life. She don't know what to do.
Yeah, you better get it. Oh, you want the other ones? Oh, no. Yeah, good boy.
She's such a nutcase.
Yeah, you better get it.
So then
She's such a nutcase.
Oh.
she holds it between her paws and just
And this was
This is way
nearly
crazy.
2 hours of in that
Yeah.
same spot doing that same thing constantly.
they love me. My parents really love me. Exactly. Yeah. So that's Cora.
Cora truly is adorable.
Yeah, it's like me with new miniatures. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
That's
Yeah, happy doggo, best doggo is definitely the thing. She's amazing.
there are a
Is-
few dogs that truly make me want to just give them a bear hug. And
She's
Cora
one of
is
them.
one of them.
She's one of them.
she'll
Yeah,
give you
she
one,
is
too.
such a
And
lover.
she will
She'll
give
give it in
you
return.
one.
She is
Jordan
also
got to experience the full Cora experience.
she's
on
a
Thanksgiving.
huge butthead,
Yeah.
but like all pets. But yeah, she's just nothing but love. She's great. So I was really stoked that she because those things are like $60 or $80.
It was $60, yeah, for that big one.
They are no
But
joke.
it'll last her forever. The bark box that we get her comes with 2 toys, and sometimes she doesn't like the toys that are in it, and sometimes she destroys them immediately. And then other times they're good. So, I mean, that's like, if this lasts her, then it's worth every penny.
Oh, we'll be getting more.
Yeah.
This will be a good investment because it doesn't have to be sanded.
No.
Like if you know the hard
The
toy, the
toys-
harder durometer or the higher durometer of the plastic toys, the more they shred and get sharp along the edges, right? And that's just a byproduct of the harder formulation of them.
Yeah.
And so then they cut her gums and her lips, and so Jen has to pull them aside. We'll file them or sand them, and then maybe
I've
give
just
them back to
started
her.
throwing them away. I'm like, she has so many toys.
But it
that
happens
I'm not
before the
sanding
toy
it.
is near done
Yeah.
most of the time, so it sucks to have to just toss it. These are awesome because they just
It'll
just go away
wear
to
down.
nothing
Yeah.
Yeah, they wear smooth.
because they have to get around the hard outside
Mhm.
of the antler to get to the I don't want to say gooey center, but you know
The softer.
the
inner-
softer.
They said that
marrow
it's
in
dry
there.
so that the marrow that's inside won't slime out.
Yeah.
It's not going to make a mess. There's nothing that's going to stain anything or anything like that. So
No,
yeah,
that's really good.
they do a really nice job with the treating of it and the preparation for it. And
It's great.
yeah, it's great. And they're local. So
Bully
get more
bones, yeah.
when she runs out.
Yeah, when she eventually destroys that
Yeah.
one.
She also likes
She
to chew
kills
on our
Kongs.
curtains.
She kills Kongs.
Oh yeah, Kong is nothing.
Kong is like
won't
10
even-
minutes. Like the toughest black ones, right? The heavy
Yeah.
duty, like
Yeah, we
ballistic
got her
Kong.
because
10
right
minutes.
away when we first got her, we knew right away that she was going to chew because she chewed
No.
stuff up immediately. So I went and got her the black one that's like the heavy duty, and she destroyed it immediately.
Not even funny.
Yeah, not even close.
Jen put like peanut butter inside of
Yeah.
it. It was gone.
Yeah.
Just the
She
same
started
thing.
at the
They
top,
sent us a toy that was like a Kong in
around
the
the
Bark Box this
outside.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, it's in a million pieces.
Yeah, which reminds me, I gotta email them because it was this month's or the November bark box toys were exactly the same as last November, and the same thing happened last year.
Yep.
Because the wishbone one,
Yeah.
she's got 2 of those now.
Yeah.
She's got one in the bedroom and one.
She loves those too. But it has to be nearly like made out of concrete for
Yeah.
her, you know? Because anything that has any pliability to it at all, she just
The ones that
absolutely kills.
they
Kong destruction is impressive. I mean, it happens in the
for
time it
a
takes
pit
you to
bull.
give her the toy, turn around, and walk out of the room and come back in the room. It's already in chunks.
she has a great time with it, but yeah, Kongs are expensive too. So
Yeah, she loves them,
Nope.
but they don't last.
No.
They won't even last a
Not doing
day.
that.
We have to take it away because it's in. Literally, the last one was I can't lie to you. It's in like probably 50 pieces.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they
She didn't eat the pieces. She's
No.
really crazy like that. You
Yeah,
saw
she
it
doesn't
when
eat
she was
stuff.
tearing the
The
napkin up.
napkin?
Yeah.
I'll
She'll
give her.
tear
We'll play
things
this thing
apart
where I
and spit
take
'em
with a
out.
paper towel and I'll wad the paper towel up and put it in her face, and she grabs it with her front teeth and pulls like pulling on a tug of rope, but then it'll tear, and she spends most of the time trying to spit it out of her mouth. She's like, and spits it all over the floor, and then we'll give her a napkin, and she'll shred it into the tiniest pieces, but never eats any of it.
Mhm. She does the same thing with our curtains and
She does it with her curtains.
She does it with your curtain?
She lays on the floor and just nips at the end. They look
Jeez.
like Frankenstein's jeans or something. Our curtains are horrible.
yeah,
They're frayed
I
at the ends
think
'cause
that
she just
like a
eats 'em.
toy got tucked underneath it, and she was chewing on the toy, and it got a little bit of the curtain with it, and
Oh, so now she's just
and then
like,
she just
"Ooh,
moved
toy."
straight to the curtain. So like the whole bottom, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's not an inch of it that isn't
Yeah.
destroyed now.
I was telling Heather yesterday, I'm like, she is so crazy because she will, we have this shelf thing in our room that has our TV on it, and like there's some like little cubby kind of things in it, and there's a blanket and another set of sheets and some pillowcases and stuff that are just kind of in there on the shelf, and she chewed up the bottom of the curtains, and then she has her dog bed is just an old comforter that's folded up because she doesn't really like dog bed, but she loves this comforter. So she's chewing on the ends of that, and she just gnaws. And then she just also decides sometimes to help herself to whatever is on the shelf. So I'll walk in, and her head is stuck into the cubby, and she's like rummaging around in there trying to get a pillowcase to take out and chew. That's how she chewed up her purple sweater
Yep.
because it was also on that shelf, and she's like, "Oh, this looks good," and she pulled it out. And
She's so funny
just chewed it.
because
She
she's
just
not
loves
really.
herself.
She's not really like she doesn't destroy like your shoes or anything.
No, she's never. Well, she
She had a
did
pair of
my
shoes
old
that she's
house
done.
shoes, my outside shoes,
And she
like
ate a
my-
pair of my shoes that were under the bed
Yeah.
once,
but
like in
she's
the
not
middle of the
interested.
night.
But she'll go and she'll like rummage around and stuff in the closet, but not chew anything.
Your mom has 2 little ankle biter Yorkies, and Penny apparently tries to frequently steal toys from her.
Oh, the Kong was when we first got her back in 2020.
Yeah.
So no, we're not getting our money back for that one.
I love how Gren's like, their dogs destroy Kongs like they're free.
Yeah.
Like, hey, get us a good toy.
Yep.
Colonel says you must not have oily fingers. If you grab your minis like you, half the paint would have rubbed off already.
Yeah, I mean,
If you have oily skin, definitely stay away from touching the miniature too much, right? That it will start to rub
you
off.
wear some gloves too, which helps.
You know, wearing a glove, nitrile glove or something like that will help you a lot with regards to that. But
Or the plastic wrap. I don't like the gloves, but
yeah,
you
I hate
put a
wearing gloves. So
plastic wrap.
take cling wrap and use like kitchen cling wrap and wrap it around the model for the parts that you aren't painting, and then you can hold on to it all day long because the cling wrap won't rub, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with it. Is that gloves I don't like because gloves are attached to your hand, not the model, and so you can move the glove and still rub paint off the model.
Yeah.
Just through friction.
Well, and you lose a lot of tactile sense as well when you're using a
Yeah.
glove and so.
Cling wrap is the best thing. If you use cling wrap, then it will, because the cling wrap is attached to the model, so it won't rub the model, but it keeps your oils in hand. You can eat Cheetos or whatever, and not be a bummer.
Oh my gosh, it's 3:49 already.
Is it really? Today's been a fun stream. We've had a lot
I
of
need to
fun.
leave right at 4.
Okay.
So probably
Yeah, I
when
gotta leave pretty quick because I have a meeting.
Oh.
when
Right
I
then.
when I go to do the doors, I probably won't come back.
That's fine. We can close up.
You guys can
Not a
handle
problem.
The links and such.
Oh, Deadbeat Raptor is your dog's name. I was like,
Deadbeat
what are you
Raptor.
talking about?
Oh, I thought
Deadbeat.
the name was Deadbeat Raptor. I was like, why would you call your dog
My
Deadbeat
dog's name is
Raptor?
Deadbeat. Well, I mean, that's what every dog is a deadbeat.
Yeah, really.
Lay around the
Bunch
house
of
and expect you to
freeloaders.
feed them and pay
It's
for
true.
rent.
It's true.
Like
Ugh.
an 18-year-old without a job. Eat all your food.
Ugh. Now I just want to give Cora a hug.
That's all she wanted to do with you, too, so that's good.
Yeah.
Jordan was over at the house for Thanksgiving. Cora was like draped over his chest, licking his face a million miles a minute.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hi, welcome to my house. This is
Luckily, I
Cora's
love
house.
dogs.
These are my
So-
helpers, Jen and Jason. You may know them, but I'm Cora."
I ended up just started, like, eventually, like, I was just starting to bear hug her.
You just got to get in.
Yeah. And she
You
was
gotta
like,
get in.
okay, all right, hold on now. I was just, like, wrestling with her. It's great.
Colonel says, I broke down and bought one of the GW big handles to do Laukavai. Laukavai's big model.
Do they have the big handles? I didn't know they had big handles.
They changed the head size on it grows for holding bigger models. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
it's pretty silly.
Captain Mannering said, "Fun meeting or meeting that could be an email." We both are going to things that maybe not. Well, Jason's might not be fun, but I know he'll.
Yeah, I have
It's not
a
dreaded.
mentor. I have a business mentor, and tonight I meet with him once a month. Gentleman who
Polly Walnuts.
owns a very large company here in the Phoenix area, and he has so graciously agreed to one-on-one mentor with me about a bunch of questions that I have in running a business because I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. So it's actually great. And we go to happy hour once a month and sit around for 2 or 3 hours while he drinks beer and I drink tea, and get to pick the brain of a person that you would not normally get to converse with in that scenario. So it's awesome.
And I am going to a social event.
You're gonna go hang out with the girls.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play Path of Exile.
Yeah, and Jordan's gonna play Path of Exile. Who knew?
And what?
I'm going to play Path of Exile.
Yeah.
Like, who knew? He's gonna be
Jordan's
done
like,
with
I
the
gotta
whole
go
game
right
in-
at 4
in
too.
4 days of gameplay.
I gotta go smoke some fools.
Hold on. I did patiently wait. I will tell you, the minute I got out of my car, I was speed walking to my apartment.
Of course you were. You're that nerd. I knew it. I get to picture it. Your dog's name is Polly Walnuts. That's amazing.
I love that.
Matt, that's
Polly
a great dog
Walnuts.
name, Polly Walnuts.
That is awesome.
The first dog I had when I lived on my own was Furious George.
I love that name
That's
too.
amazing.
Well, that's
Isn't
not
that a great
true.
name?
The first dog I had was Bolin. He was a rescue boxer and was insane. And then my second dog was Furious George.
Red Spartan, no. Unsweetened is the only acceptable.
Tea?
Your Labrador's name is, I'm going to say, is it Jesus or Jesus Marzipan? Mazapan. We call him Mazza for short. The kids name him Jesus because he was born on Christmas. Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Marzipan or Mazapan?
Mazapan, it is a Mexican candy, is what he's saying.
I mean, marzipan is a candy.
Yeah, I thought marzipan was the candy, but Mazapan maybe.
First cat was catnip.
College professor had a boa constrictor named Julius Squeezer.
Oh, that's great.
Julius Squeezer?
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, that is
That's a
spectacular.
Very good.
Route says, how have you not possibly beat the game by now, Jordan?
Jesus.
Yes, he's already on his third playthrough.
Hold on now. This is not a game that you just, like, beat. It's
actually. You beat it and then you start over and beat it again. That's how this game works.
Well, technically, the campaign does repeat once.
Hey, Red Spartan said unsweet tea is a creation of the devil. Do you know that sweet tea starts out as unsweet?
Yeah, yeah. Turns out you're wrong.
Turns out you're wrong.
Colonel says it's a Mexican treat made of peanuts.
Oh, I
Mazapan.
didn't know this. And it's Jesus.
Jesus
He
Mazapan.
says Jesus, as in the Mexican version. Jesus. One does not simply beat Path of Exile 2. No, you play the game until it's boring because everything that you go in front of disappears. And then it becomes a speed run game. It's weird watching Path of Exile 1, and I'm assuming PoE 2 will be the same exact thing, unless they change the way they add content, is that they go from being like an ARPG to a speed run game. At some point in time, it's just about how fast can you do this map, or how fast can you do this thing.
I'm definitely excited to kill all the big bosses. That's like my thing that I am really looking for.
They're all just repeats of the same boss again and again and again with new abilities.
No, not the pinnacle bosses.
Yeah, they've shown them.
The pinnacle bosses?
Yeah, they've shown like the 4, and then they just repeat themselves all the time.
Yes. No, because the breach one is one that they've never done before in the campaign.
No, I'm just saying, but then you beat them, and then the rest of the game is beating them over and over and over and over, the same one.
Yes.
Just with different...
There is a boss that they never showed, which is I think it's like the last, or it's like I don't know. There's some stuff that they have not talked about.
The race to the top level every season. Yeah, that's the part that beats me up. I love playing these games. They're great. PoE 2 is being a lot of fun. It's very frustrating. It's super hard. But there'll be a point where it becomes boring for me because it just becomes a repeating grind. And this grind feels different because you don't even get cool stuff along the way.
They did patch that.
It hasn't changed for me.
Well, they patched it this morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
this morning.
Yeah, there was a
Okay.
patch that went out this morning to specifically address a lot of those things. Which is pretty quick. It's a pretty quick turnaround.
And then us Southerners make the unsweet tea holy by adding as much sugar as chemically possible.
That is accurate.
Oh my God, that is the truth.
Yeah.
I growing up in Texas, when you ask how you make sweet tea, how much sugar do you add to sweet tea, you keep adding sugar until the sugar no longer mixes in. The tea reaches saturation point. And even
Oh
then
my
you keep
gosh,
putting
that
more
sounds
sugar
just-
in so that you always have sugar in the bottom of it, right?
Ooh.
It's crazy.
It just makes my stomach hurt.
Crazy.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't,
Crazy. Now, I would have to look back and see how much sugar it takes to saturate tea.
Several cups.
volume,
I
but
want
it's
to
a
say
lot.
that like the old school Kool-Aid, remember Kool-Aid, how you used to have to add sugar?
Yeah.
I feel like it took like 4 cups of sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and none of it would ever come out of fall out of solution in the bottom. It
Yeah.
was like because sugar dissolves
Yeah.
and becomes sugar water, like salt dissolves and becomes salt water. You
Mhm.
mix it in, and so we're talking about not like paint, right, where the pigment falls to the bottom over time because it never mixes in, right? You're talking about sugar, so you would put so much in there and stir it up until it reached saturation to where it would no longer dissolve any more sugar. Because you had reached the max that the liquid could hold, so all the sugar would sit at the bottom.
That's
Terrible.
Yeah, it's gross.
Red
that
Spartan
note-
says it's great.
I gotta go. It was good to hang out with you guys. I'll be back tomorrow.
Had some of that Southern tea in Mobile, Alabama. My stomach was hurting the next day. It makes my
Yeah.
head hurt immediately.
Your head hurt?
Oh, I get a tension headache from that much sugar
Really?
immediately. Oh, immediately. That's
Huh.
why I can't drink a lot of soda. And the only sodas that I can get away with drinking are the ones from the restaurant that come out of the fountain. If you drink them out of a can
Oh,
or something, it
interesting.
blows me away. Bye, babe. If it starts at 5, I'll be home. I'll probably leave there by 7:30 or 8 latest. I'll let you know. Okay. Is the dog okay? Oh, okay. Right. Oh, right. Gotcha.
Bye, Jen.
Yeah, so sugar and tea.
Sugar.
Yeah, it just gives me a tension headache, like base of my skull kind of headache if I drink that much sugar. It's like I love this place, Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, but you can get the sweet tea and the unsweet tea, and you can do. I ask them for unsweet tea with a splash of sweet tea, and it's still almost too much because they make sweet tea the old Southern way.
Yeah.
Like they're literally like, how much sugar goes in it? Yes.
Yeah. Yes is the amount
Yes.
of sugar that goes in it.
Try adding a splash of water to pancake syrup if you don't want to bother making your own Southern style sweet tea. Try adding a splash. Oh, I get it, to pancake syrup. I was like, to pancake? I was thinking pancake mix. I was like, to pancake syrup? Yeah, you're almost right. Mark Strong asks, any good Skaven fur recipes? Kind of what he's doing now works really
this.
well for Skaven.
Yeah,
That
this
kind of
is
greenish
perfect.
brown flesh, and then you can do like black, gray, green for the fur is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Especially for if you want it to look like sewer rats.
Right. Well, the best thing too is what you do is you build up this like lighter skin, and then you can thin down like transparent paints and washes, and you can glaze this color on top of it to make it match whatever you want. If you want it to be really like irritated, you can put in a little bit of red transparent and some glaze and wash medium, and you can glaze that on there, and it'll make it feel pink and irritated, and
Yeah.
which is perfect for Skaven, right? Or you can do like some purples or some greens or some browns and things like that.
Panic Bomb says sugar goes in until it doesn't. Until it stops working. That's how you know there's enough sugar. When it starts rejecting the next sugar you put in.
Yep.
Yeah, I grew up with that, and I can remember, and it's amazing how visceral the memories are when I have sweet tea that tastes like that. Because you get it, you take a sip, and all of a sudden I'm back with like my grandmother in Dallas on a hot summer day, and they're making like the tea is out on the patio in the sun, before they put all the sugar in it, and it's crazy to think about, but I can't drink
So
it.
I grew up drinking a lot of like sweet tea from California. Because
Yeah.
where I was from in
Not the
California, it's not the same.
Not the
But I definitely I have that taste for sweet tea, which is why I like Arizona iced tea, because it's very similar to that sort of like sweet tea type thing. Although it's less tea, right? It's more of like a soda.
Yeah.
But I like Arizona iced tea for that reason. But
I love it. Route says, I also do an Almer Palmer. It's an Arnold Palmer and have lemonade to get the sugar. Yeah. A half and half for an Arnold. I say half and half because Arnold Palmer is the hardest thing in the world for me to say.
Arnold Palmer is very hard to
It's
say.
so hard for me to say it. So I do
Is
have
sweet
to-
tea
is
even
sweet
hot?
tea even hot?
No, usually not.
Tea is
Usually
served cold if you're doing it right.
Yep. Hey! Hi, Gabe!
You see, Gabe.
No, that's not a bye. That's a hi. Hello. Hi, Gabe.
Yeah, Arizona uses high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Iced sweet tea is the only way to have it. Oh, yeah. No, we're only talking about iced tea here. Nobody drinks hot tea, do they, Chris?
Hot tea?
What the heck is hot tea about?
Like hot tea. Medicine ball.
The medicine ball is good.
So
the medicine ball is really good.
So good.
All right. Luck out there.
Hey, you good luck out there.
Teeny Tiny Victory says, yikes. And Cat Man goes, yeah, that's not tea. What's not tea about iced tea? That it's diluted?
All
Yeah,
right.
hot drinks are illegal here, by the way.
Yeah.
You realize we live where it's like usually 120 degrees.
It's funny because every time I go to Starbucks and I get like a coffee drink, because I drink them hot because I'm from Seattle, I have to like specify. I'm like, hey, I want a white chocolate mocha or whatever the heck I get, and I'm like, I want it hot, and they're like, want it hot? like I'm like saying something weird. It's like, yes, I want it hot.
Yeah, hot. Hot. Teeny Tiny, we use tea leaves. For real Southern iced tea, it's tea leaves done steeped just like you would do for hot tea.
It's a
and
cold
we
steep,
would
though, right?
steep it in the sun. So we would do it in big
Yeah.
jugs, and you would do it in the sun outside on the patio, and you'd make tea that way, and then you'd bring it in, and they'd add all the sugar in the world to it, and then you pour it over ice. And it's super refreshing. You put like mint leaves in it too sometimes, and it can be super refreshing at the end of the day, except for all the sugar. As a kid, you don't know the difference. It's like candy in a glass. As an old person, it's like, yeah, stay away from me with that nonsense, but iced tea is great.
Well, this is 403.
Iced tea isn't tea because it doesn't taste anything like tea, maybe? No, it tastes exactly like tea if you don't use like Nest tea, powdered tea nonsense.
No, definitely no milk.
You might get heat stroke and pass out if you drink hot. No milk, right? You can get it milked. I know people that do cream and iced tea. It's
Really?
a little weird. It's like Thai iced tea. It's
Yeah.
done that way.
Yeah, it would
Thai
be that
iced
sweet.
tea. I mean, it's different tea leaves when you get Thai iced tea. But Thai iced tea is served iced with milk, with cream.
I do like Thai iced tea.
Deadbeat powdered tea is horrible. Horrible.
Ugh, powdered tea
Yeah,
sounds
powdered
awful.
tea is a scourge. I'm with you on that one, Leaf. All right, gang.
It's 4 o'clock.
4 p.m.
Make sure
Actually,
you
it's
guys
4:04. File not found.
file not found. Stream just shuts off.
You don't need to milk with chai, yeah. Yeah, 4:04. File not found.
Yep. All right, everyone. We got the links up there for you. Make sure you check them all out. Go up to the store link and check it out. Buy some cool stuff.
I didn't do it.
That was quick. Make sure you guys check the FLGS link to find a store near you where you can also support both us and your local game store. Maybe find some cool people to play games with. And make sure to check out the Discord as well, where you can find more internet friends.
Captain Battery
Yay!
says, thanks for the stream and the crimes against tea. Damn you.
So good. And then make sure you guys check out the YouTube.
Hey, I know what TTFN means. Ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now.
We'll see you later, gang.
See you later, guys. We're going to find somebody to raid. Make sure you guys have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. We stream 5 days a week from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Always on Twitch and YouTube. So you can find the YouTube link down there.
Yowza.
You can find all of our old streams on there as well as our tutorial videos. So check it on
Yowza.
out. Drop us a follow. We will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.